$7 trillion Fidelity just stole the world. Bitcoin's bottom is in. That's right, the firm that started mining in 2014 just said paper hands have been flushed and that a base is formed. Their top macro strategist says the floor may be in at $65,000. All Bitcoin needs is a catalyst to start its move higher. Wall Street is telling you it's time to buy. Here's today's big story. Over to the news from CoinDesk, the headline, Bitcoin may be forming a base at $65,000 as paper hands have been flushed out. An article covering a paper by Jurrien Timmer, Director of Global Macro at Fidelity Investments. Now, Timmer is one of our most respected strategists on Wall Street, sitting inside a firm managing trillions in assets. This is not a crypto native analyst talking their book. It's a traditional macro strategist at one of America's most conservative financial institutions. Of course, the paper from one of its lead analysts, Jurrien Timmer, who described the current macro environment as a, quote, wild ride, but he said conditions for investors may not be as dire as they appear. Oil surged over $100 a barrel. The S&P dropped as much as 9%, but it's recovered to just 1% drawdown. And he said corporate earnings remained strong. Overall, Timmer called this a healthy mid-cycle expansion that is absorbing geopolitical shocks. Now enter Bitcoin. Of course, the report focusing on the wider macro lens, noting Bitcoin hit $126,000 last October and that it's since fallen nearly 50% to lows in the $60,000 range. Now, Timmer sees the dynamic potentially reversing with capital flight that fled to gold coming back to Bitcoin. Notably, he said weak, panic-prone investors have largely left the market, and he believes selling pressure has been absorbed. Now he's saying $65,000 is a level that's acting as solid technical support. He sees this as a base to form, but emphasizes a catalyst may be needed. Still, it's a stark contrast to other analysts such as Bloomberg's Mike McGlone, who called for Bitcoin to head all the way down to $10,000. Of course, not every analyst is as dire. Goldman Sachs saying back in February the Bitcoin bottom may be near, and saying, as this Motley Fool article suggests, or hinting that it might be time to buy. Of course, a lot of signals currently flashing that Bitcoin is highly oversold. In addition to the mainstream research analysts, you can go to the charts themselves. Bitcoin's relative strength index hitting its fourth lowest point and nearing its lowest point in history. So a lot of signals right now telling us Bitcoin may have bottomed and that we might be headed for higher territory. Of course, you don't need to rely on Wall Street to hold your Bitcoin. You can secure your private keys yourself digitally with a state-of-the-art crypto wallet from the likes of Trezor, our show sponsor. Big thanks to them. And the new Trezor Safe 7, the latest and greatest in hardware wallet technology. It's a must-own for experts as well as those just getting their first sats. We appreciate the support. Head over to Trezor.io today.